Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. I'm going to be talking about what's in this little packet today. But let me just tell you, I'm really excited and I'm so looking forward to opening this guy up. I've seen this guy on Instagram and I've always seen it on the website, the YardWerx website, but I always seem to keep missing out on drops because these guys sell like hotcakes. And personally, I feel that this is one of the nicest spinners out there, which is the reason why I've always wanted to get one. But you know, drop times are always not in my time zone, so I'm either fast asleep or busy at work, and these guys just sell out so fast. So I finally managed to get one thanks to the Atomic Punk for helping me out so much. He helped me out through not one but two drops, because for the first drop I missed it because I was fast asleep. It was 3 AM at night when he texted me, and the drop was at 5 AM in the morning, and I didn't wake up till about 7:30, and by then I already missed it all. So here I have it. This is the Hollow Zik. I've only seen it in pictures, not in real life, and I finally am holding it now. I really want to get my first impressions down. So here we go. Right, we've got this little black pouch, nothing else in this. Moments of truth, guys. Whoa! Whoa! I like it. This is exactly what I was expecting. I mean, come on, I've seen pictures, right? But the impression that I get right now is the exact same thing that I feel whenever I look at pictures of this guy. This is the Hollow Zik by YardWerx. Before this, there wasn't a hollow version, there was a solid body version that somehow just didn't really appeal to me. Not till I saw the hollow version. I was like, wait a minute, you guys are making a hollow version? At first it was only brass, and then finally they went ahead and they made stainless steel, and I'm like, I need that stainless steel version. Finish is very nice actually. It's some kind of a media tumbled finish. That looks so good. Oh man. Very nice smooth spin as well. This is a 608 spinner, and what's unique is that it comes with these clear buttons as well. The edges are all nicely rounded, no sharp edges, so I don't think there's gonna be any hot spots, but I won't know and I won't be able to tell you guys until I put this on my EDC for the next few days. It actually is a lot bigger than I expected if I were to compare it to what I saw in the pictures. Maybe that's because I have typical Asian size hands. Could be it. But it's very comfortable. It's not too big, and so far I think flicking is alright. Seems to be able to flick quite okay. Doesn't seem to want to cause me any discomfort or any problems. My first impressions of this guy, I really like it. Look at that. This is a spinner that I bought purely based on the design. Really, the design just won me over. I like it a lot. Alright, so as usual, I'm going to put this guy in my EDC, then I'll check back in with you guys, okay? But right off the bat, I like this guy. Nice little spinner. It looks classy. In my opinion, it just looks so classy.
1 week later.
I'm back after spending about 5 days with this guy. Less than a week, but I think I've spent enough time with this. He's been sitting in my pocket for the past 5 days. I've been fidgeting with him a lot. So much so that the button has actually come loose. I'm putting pressure, but the moment I let go, the button just drops right out. Let me show that to you guys again. Squeeze it real tight, and when I just do this, the button drops right out. There is a way to rectify it, and the Atomic Punk has actually posted it on his Instagram before, where you actually cut a small piece of paper, put it right here, and then you press the buttons in place. But let's talk about the buttons. I'm gonna just get a screwdriver so I can push the other end out. Now without the bearing, the buttons actually fit very well. I think that originally they fit well, it's just that over time of flicking it, you kind of twist the buttons in place, and because they are just made of plastic, you kind of start to grind off some of the plastic here, so that's why it becomes a bit loose. But if it's just fit, the buttons alone like that, it fits snug, like one of those old style press-fitted kind of caps. But these are actually very comfortable buttons. There is a lip over here that goes in, a concave. It's not even a smooth curve, it's just a little ridge over here. And somehow, because of these ridges, when I hold the spinner, it actually aids me in getting a better grip. And if I apply enough pressure, you actually see the marks it'll make on my finger. Right there, see? It's actually really comfortable. I kid you not, guys. It's not sharp at all. It's an angled edge. So it's really nice. I like these buttons. It's just too bad that they are kind of loose, so I want to think of a different alternative instead of using a piece of paper, because I don't really want to see a white thing right in the middle. I want to be able to see all the way through. The next thing I want to mention to you guys is that I've spoken to the Atomic Punk and I've asked him about the bearing retention method, and he said that these are actually epoxied in place. If you look close enough, you might actually see some of the epoxy right there. Because I was wondering if this design is made in such a way that these three inner rings over here are kind of pressing on the bearing like a spring retention kind of thing, but it's not. Apparently you actually need epoxy to hold these things in place. So I actually have some plans for this guy. They'll require me to remove the bearing, so I'll probably show you guys how to do that at the end of the video. I know that Anand, who has actually watched my videos a lot, actually asked about showing how that contraption that I made is going to help with removal of the bearing, so hopefully this will answer your question, Anand. Thanks so much for the question, by the way. I like it. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is these little edges over here. Unfortunately, these edges are a point of discomfort. Besides the very, very well finished frame, these three are unfortunately hot spots for you, and they're right smack in the most central part of the design, and your finger always wants to go into the central area when you're preparing for a flick. So on a forward flick like this, you might snag yourself right there in the corner, and that would cause you some discomfort. Now, one of the edges, I gotta find out exactly which one, is actually really sharp. Right here, this is the one that's really sharp. And if you look closely inside, you actually see that the finish is actually kind of grainy. And that's because when you do tumbling, I believe that the medium that was used isn't able to hit the inside ridge right there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I'm probably going to take a needle file and round off these edges slightly, so there'll be 6 on each side, mix 12 on both sides. It's a little bit unfortunate, but like I said, it gets in the way when you're actually performing flicks. In particular, the way I flick it, which is the preloaded flick. Most of the time, I'm able to get my finger right here on this edge, which lets me be able to pull off a very solid preloaded flick, just like that. Sometimes I get my finger up here, and that's when I cause myself a lot of pain and a lot of grief, to the point that I go, ow, what the fuck? And especially because this is a symmetrical design, I don't know if I'm actually landing up on this side or this side, and which of the corner that I'll actually hit. So if I hit that super sharp corner, which is right here now, that really hurts. Now, this is the way I fidget with this guy most of the time, and I tend to stop it with my fourth and middle finger at the same time. So I do this all the time when I fidget. So on the off chance that I land just like this, my middle finger is gonna want to just stop right here and pull it back, and that's when I get snagged right here. Also, if I somehow stop it this way, right here, what I will naturally do is pull back on my fourth finger like that, put my middle finger right there and pull it back, and I get snagged again. So the best times when I actually get a really, really fun continuous flick is when I'm able to stop it exactly like that. Then I just keep going and going and going. And I'm always trying to reach out for this edge over here with my middle finger. So I guess over time you just develop the habit of pulling this spinner frame back in with your thumb and index finger, and then reaching out here, like showing someone the finger, just to get a nice flick on this guy. And this is how I actually play with the Zik. It's actually quite fun, because on the off chance that I land it right here, I'm gonna push forward with my fourth finger instead. But yeah, that's just me, and I really wanted to highlight the problems with this. Now, if you change up your grip and you're pushing forward or pulling back with your index finger, this is when you have to take note of. If you actually land it right here on your index finger and you're pulling back, that's where you're gonna get the snag as well. So you guys gotta be careful. If you land it here and you want to push forward, no problem definitely, but pulling back, the ideal is for you to get your finger right up here and then pull it back like that. But if you just somehow end up like that and you pull back, then ouch again. So I'm just gonna round off these edges because I really like the design of this spinner. I cannot describe how much I love this design. Apart from that, all these edges, everything else is perfectly, beautifully rounded off. Zero problems whatsoever. Even on the inner edges here, they are rounded to a certain extent because this has been tumbled. Not as round as the outside edge, but still not sharp at all. So even if you land your finger on the inside, and if you're gonna pull from the inside like that to flick this way, not a problem as well. Even if you get your finger here, it's not gonna be a chance where you actually have your whole finger going in like that and you want to pull a flick. That would be kind of like an accident, I guess. But if you just land your finger on the edge like that and you push forward or you pull back, not a problem. Just really wanted to highlight that to you guys. All in all, guys, this cost me $44 US. Just this and a little black pouch that it comes in. Shoutouts to the Atomic Punk for being so awesome in terms of customer service, always answering my questions really quickly and always giving me dibs on when the next drop is gonna be, because I live in Singapore and the drop timings means that it's either gonna be right smack in the middle of a work day or really late at night, aka early in the morning when I'm fast asleep. So I'm really happy and really stoked that I'm able to land one of these beauties. This guy just really appeals to me. In terms of design, like I said before, design is subjective, but this is one that I really love. Made in stainless steel, available in brass as well. For about $44, in my opinion, it's a very well priced spinner. And to top it all off, I love the way this thing looks. Steel frames with brass races on the bearing, and to finish it all off with a transparent button set. This just looks absolutely amazing. Of course, like I said, I have some plans for this guy, so stay tuned for that. But all in all, I really like this guy. A very nice spinner, very well made, beautiful design with the unfortunate hot spot right here that I will rectify with a needle file. Size wise, slightly bigger than a stubby, but feels very comfortable in hand. If you're interested in this, guys, links in the video description. But you might have to wait a little while because these are currently out of stock. They drop them in batches, so stay tuned, and you can also follow the Atomic Punk on Instagram for the latest news and updates on the YardWerx spinners. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching all the way throughout, and I hope that the information provided will help you make a better informed decision on whether or not the YardWerx Hollow Zik is a spinner for you. 44 bucks, 608 hybrid ceramic spinner, stainless steel, also available in brass. Gets sold out really fast because I think it's a very beautiful design. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you all in the next slice of my life. Bye! Anand, this part is for you. I've got a microfiber cloth right here, as well as this little contraption, which is a combination of two sizes of pipes that are glued together with a larger size pipe that will sleeve inside like that. So the larger size pipe is supposed to go around the bearing like that, and the smaller size pipe will sit on the bearing, and when I put them all together in this clamp, I'm going to tighten it and it should push the bearing right out. Now you want to make sure that the part that pushes the bearing out doesn't sit on the actual balls of the bearing. If not, you're going to damage the bearing. So here we go. Put the cloth on top of the bigger pipe. Push it down so we can see the indentation. Then we're going to set this down right here on it. Okay, then we're going to get this smaller pipe. Put it on top. Now to help out, I got these folded pieces of tin. Just flat, and put them here. And here. Like that, and we're going to sandwich the whole thing here. So this is what it should look like. We got the flat piece, the smaller pipe on the outer race of the bearing, then we have the cloth to prevent scratches, we have the bigger pipe that is around the frame itself, and we have another flat piece to end it off. So now we're just going to tighten this really slowly so that it will apply equal pressure to push it out. Now this guy is held in by epoxy as shared to me by the Atomic Punk, so we're going to do this really slowly. You can see the smaller pipe has started to push the bearing out bit by bit, so let's carry on. There we go, we just keep tightening this guy. Yep, I hear the epoxy cracking. There we have it. Pipes getting further and further down in. And I think we've got it. Just undo this guy and check it out. Hey, that's not too bad. I think the bearing sitting in this, making it really tight. So let's try and yank this apart. There we go. And grab the cloth and pull it out. So the bearing has been pushed out more than halfway. Just gonna pop it out with our fingers. There we go. And hopefully this answers your question. You can see some epoxy residue right here. I'm just gonna clean it off. And the bearing is out. Ta-da! This is how we remove the bearing without damaging the bearing itself or damaging the frame. No scratches. Perfect.